Did y'all know that the suspect in the 25-year-old Shanquella Robinson's brutal death in Mexico still has not been arrested? Shanquella's family wants Joe Biden and his administration to intervene. On Friday, attorneys representing the family of Shanquella Robinson called for some diplomatic intervention in the ongoing case. Shanquella Robinson was found dead in October of 2022 after attending a trip to Mexico with her friends, a trip that they said she largely paid for. She was the one, according to credit card reports, that charged the trip for the luxury beachfront villa that her friends were enjoying, and she had her friends' best interest at heart, but her friends were actually not really her friends. A sad story. Now, despite significant evidence, an autopsy report, and a video showing Shanquella being attacked on video, no arrest has been made so far. We were under the impression that the person who was seen in the video beating Shanquella was actually already arrested and extradited to Mexico. It turns out that that is actually not so. So, a new headline says that the family of North Carolina woman Shanquella Robinson, who was beaten to death while on a Mexican getaway with 6 others last year, is pleading for the arrest of her killer. Now, let me say this first off. Everyone who was in that room when this young lady was beaten needs to be arrested and tried and convicted as a part of this. They were accessories to before, during, and after the fact. We saw the video. The video was brutal. She got beat all over that room, and we heard them encouraging her to fight, even though we saw on video that she was not swinging not even one punch. She was just taking blows. The parents of Shanquella Robinson, along with family attorney who they have now gotten, Ben Crump, spent Friday in Washington, D.C., demanding that President Joe Biden and the U.S. Department of State diplomatically intervene in the investigation into their daughter's alleged murder. This is no alleged. We saw the video, and the autopsy report lines up with the video we saw. This is according to ABC News. Robinson, who was 25 years old, she died at a luxury resort in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico in October of 2022. Her travel mates, 6 friends, allegedly at first insisted that Shanquella Robinson had died from alcohol poisoning, but an autopsy later revealed that she died as a result of severe trauma to her neck and spinal cord. And what we saw in the video of her getting a beating lines up with that autopsy, as we would see her on video slumped over as if her neck and spinal cord were injured during the beating. There was a point in the video where she was no longer really moving, as if she was unable to move, although she was seated upright, but she was slumped over at the neck and upper back, looking down at the floor as if she had received that injury. Autopsy report says her spine was cracked. According to the Charlotte Observer, a video that was captured by one of the people she was vacationing with allegedly showed Shanquella Robinson getting physically assaulted by another woman in the hotel room. That other woman was identified. That other woman had an arrest warrant issued for her in the past pertaining to this situation. This is why a lot of people were under the assumption that that woman who used to be or was supposed to be Shanquella's bestie, we thought she would be in Mexico facing charges by now. We don't know what happened. Apparently, she was arrested and then let go. Or is she still in custody but not being prosecuted? ABC News reports at least two others were present at the time of the alleged beating. You can hear them in the room. The person who stood by and videotaped this whole thing is an accomplice and needs to be arrested, as well as the others who were in the video cheering along while Shanquella was being beaten. It has been 126 days since she passed away, said the family's attorney, according to the Observer. That's 18 weeks. Video footage of her being beaten, literally beaten to death, was released on November 16th of 2022, 108 days ago, and still, with all this visual evidence, nobody has been arrested. That is crazy. Let me say that again. Video footage of her being beaten literally to death was released on November 16th of 2022, 108 days ago, in the company of her friends, mind you, being beaten by one of her friends. And still, with all this visual evidence, nobody has been arrested. It is not right that the suspects and the people who are involved are sleeping comfortably in their own beds at night, Crump said. The only question is, State Department, President Biden, what are you doing or going to do to bring justice for this heartbroken family, especially this mother of Shanquella Robinson? Now, according to WBTV TV, authorities in Mexico are waiting on the U.S. to extradite an unnamed person who was allegedly involved in Shanquella Robinson's death before they can move forward with the investigation. So, Mexico's hands are tied. We followed this video before, this situation before, we did a video on it, and the person who was seen on video beating Shanquella is the person who was arrested and is supposed to be in custody in the United States of America, but Mexico cannot do anything until they extradite this person to Mexico to face those charges. This case is fully clarified. We even have a court order. There is an arrest warrant issued for the crime of femicide to the detriment of the victim and against all alleged perpetrators. A friend of hers who is the direct aggressor. This is the words of local prosecutor Daniel de la Rosa Anaya, who said, people previously reported in November. So this is from Mexican authorities representative. They said this case is fully clarified. We even have a court order. There is an arrest warrant issued for the crime of femicide to the detriment of the victim and against an alleged perpetrator, a friend of hers who is the direct aggressor. She was speaking about the person who was seen in the video beating Shanquella. It was not a fight, it was a beating. Shanquella did not swing not even one blow. We are carrying out all the pertinent procedures, such as the Interpol alert and the request for extradition to the United States of America. It's about two Americans, the victim and the culprit, he added. So Mexico's hands are tied unless the U.S. arrests these people who have made it back to U.S. soil safely and extradite them back to Mexico so that Mexican authorities can do what they need to do. A State Department statement obtained by People on Monday reads in part and says this: the Department of State has no higher priority than the safety and security of U.S. citizens overseas and supports a thorough investigation into the circumstances of this evidence incident and is closely monitoring local authorities' investigation. The department does not provide confirmation of or commentary on investigations due to privacy and law enforcement considerations. Well, listen, if that's the case, and they are giving local authorities in the U.S. time to do their investigations based on evidence that was found, then so be it. It's taking too long. Like the family attorney Ben Crump said, the video footage of her being beaten literally to death was released on November 16th of 2022, 108 days ago, and still there is nothing being done. No one has been arrested, and Mexico is still waiting on the United States of America to send the person who they have an arrest warrant for so they can start the process of prosecution. Why is it taking so long? I have a theory. I hope that Shanquella's family gets some justice out of this sometime soon. And I hope that they stop playing around. And I hope that the Biden administration gets on this and gets it done ASAP. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. And like my grandmother always said, your friends will take you to places and they won't bring you back. This is the perfect example of that. I'll catch y'all on another video. Hit that subscribe button. It's Hot Topics TV. I'm out. Peace.